Hello, welcome back to some 1969 APBA baseball. Today we have the Montreal Expos in town to visit the Chicago Cubs. Montreal, the Montreal Expos, of course, in their first year existence, so they opened the year with a three-game set in New York. They took 2 out of 3 from the Mets, and Chicago opened up at home against the Philadelphia Phillies, and they lost 2 of 3 to the Phillies. So, Chicago Cubs had a very good team this year. They were in first place quite a bit. So at this point they were 3-0. So they're underperforming a bit in the replay so far. And so anyway, we will get things started. So one thing of clarification on the runners, I'm doing the color coded. That's like a stoplight. Red is slow, yellow is normal speed, and green is a fast runner. So as I hopefully try to remember to put the runners, we will know what speed they are. So on the mound for Chicago Cubs is Joe Niekro. He will end the year in San Diego. Matter of fact, I think he gets traded away pretty quick. He is a CRZ, so you don't see too many R's, so he didn't strike out very many. As you can see, only 62 and 221 innings. Those are his combined stats between Chicago and San Diego. And so anyway, he's on the mound for the Cubs, and we will get this game started. So leading off for the Expos will be Maury Wills, and he ends the year in Los Angeles, where he started his career. I believe that's where he started. He may have started in Pittsburgh, but I know his best years were in Los Angeles. So, anyway, versus a right-hander, he's a -3, so that'll add 3 to Niekro. He is a 6 on his master rating, so that's not enough to get him out of the C range. So here we go. As you can see, Wills is hitting .308 with a home run here early on in the 69 season. 42, and he strikes out. So Niekro with the knuckleball. Wills is not able to catch it, and that is one away. Minnie Mota getting his first action of the year. He actually ends up somewhere else too. Let me see if I can improve on that card. Well, unfortunately, because he spent just 31 games with the Expos, I couldn't find anything better than that. So at least he's got his the right team on the card, even if he's in the wrong uniform. So obviously he went to Los Angeles and stayed there for quite a few years. So, all right, so he will be up with 1 out versus righties. He's a -4, so that'll make a 10C out of Niekro. Here's the pitch. 24, and that's another strikeout. So Niekro got the knuckleball working here today. The weather here in Chicago is not very good for baseball, as you'll get this time of year up here. So quickly 2 away, and that's brings Le Grand Orange. Again, my French is horrible, but he will step to the plate, hitting .333, couple RBI and a double already. He's +2, so that will knock Niekro down to a D as in dog. So 2 out, nobody on. 54, and that's a fly ball. Hit hard out to right field, but Spangler will track it down for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Expos go in order. Go to the home half of the first, no score. Again, the Cubs off to a slow start. In real life, they won this game as well to go 3-0, or 4-0 rather. But again, they didn't do as good against the Phillies as they did in real life, as they ended up losing 2 of 3. On the mound for the Expos is Carl Morton. He is a C with a W of 5, so he's a very, very low C. So he will probably be spending some time in the D as in dog category. Kessinger's hitting .250 versus right-handers. He's a 0, so that will keep Morton at a D. And here's the pitch to Kessinger. 13, and he draws a walk. So second walk of the year Kessinger has received. Obviously the first one given up by Morton today. He's a W, so again, he's a bit wild. See, he didn't play a ton this year. Versus, that brings Beckert to the plate. He's hitting .308 with a double and 3 RBI. Versus righties, he's a -2, so that will improve Morton to a 7C. Kessinger on first base is fast, so he gets the green token. Here's the pitch to Beckert. 44 is a 7, and that's going to get on our right chart here. That's a single to right field over the head of Sutherland. Staub will head to the gap to cut it off, and he'll hold Beckert to a single. However, Kessinger will make it all the way to third, and the Cubs are off to a hot start. So runners on first and third, nobody out. The Cubs are going to play back at double play, or the Expos rather, are going to play back at double play depth here early in the game. Billy Williams is hitting .462, a home run and 4 runs driven in, 2 doubles, so he's off to a good start. Let's see. Beckert is a average runner, so he is there. All right. Here's the pitch against right-handers. Williams is a -1, which will make a 6C as in cat for Morton. 23, that's a 26. That's the second baseman. Sutherland is a 6, which is not very good. So again, 23, 26. The infield's back. So they attempt a double play. Sutherland gets it, scoops it over to Wills. He fires on to first, and Williams beats it out. Kessinger scores, and the Cubs are up 1-0. So that'll be a fielder's choice. 4-6. Kessinger scores on the play easily. Beckert's out 4-6 for out number 1, and that puts Williams on first with 1 out. Williams is fast, according to the APBA gurus. That brings up Ron Santo. He's hitting .250 with a run driven in. Versus right-handed pitching, he is a -2, so that'll make a 7C out of Morton. Here is the pitch. 35, that's a 39. They are, the Expos are a 3. So that's here's the pitch. Williams breaks for a second. Here's Bateman with the throw. Sutherland applies the tag, and he is nailed. Chicago trying to get aggressive here. Didn't pay off. He is caught stealing 2-4 for out number 2. Ron Santo will now be up with 2 out and nobody on. Again, Morton is a C for this at bat. 25 is an 8 on a C, and that's a single to left center. So he slaps it over Will's head. Mac Jones will cut it off. Hold Santo to a single. So that caught stealing kind of hurts a bit right now. 2 out, runner on first. Santo is slow, so he will get the red token. Again, remember, stoplight. So there's 2 outs. They're ahead by 1. So with 2 outs, I think they're going to go ahead and play it normal. So not playing it safe with Santo. Arnie Banks, who's off to a bit of a slow start, 167. Versus righties, he's -3, so that'll make an 8C as in cat out of Morton. Here's the pitch. 65, and that's a 35. He is a W, so that's going to be a walk. That W can be a bad thing, because that would have been a pop out to the catcher if he'd have had better control, but as it is, Cubs get 2 on again here. Let's see, Banks is of normal speed, so runners on first and second, 2 out. for the catcher, Rick Hunley, who's hitting .222. Couple walks here in the early going for him. -3. That's an 8 C as in cat for Morton. Trying to keep the Chicago bottom of the first just 1 run if at all possible. Big at bat here early in the game. 15 is an 8, and he is a C. That's a single over short. Santos going to score. Banks going on contact will make it all the way to third. He goes to third and he scores. Cubs are up by 2. Hunley with the RBI single. That puts him at first and third, 2 out. For right fielder Al Spangler. Both runners are average speed. Spangler's hitting .333. He's just played 1 game, had a double and an RBI. He's -1, so that'll make a 6C. The Montreal bullpen is up and stirring around. 45, and that's going to be a walk, loading the bases. Third walk given up by Morton here in the first inning. He has not found his sea legs yet. Bases loaded. 8th hitter Young up versus righties. He's a 0, so that'll keep him at a D as in dog. Spangler is also of average speed, so the bases loaded with mediocrity on the base paths. Here's the pitch. Morton again trying to get out of this pickle if at all possible. 54, and I think he'll do it. So that's lofted out to right field. Rusty Staub is not a great fielder, but he will be able to get to this one, and that'll do it for the Cubs. So it could have been much worse. As Morton entices Young to fly out to the right field. However, the Cubs get 2 runs on 3 base hits. There were no errors, and they left the bases loaded. So after 1 complete, the Cubs up by 2. Four, 5, and 6 due up for Montreal in the top of the first. Mac Jones, early Montreal fan favorite, will lead off. He's hitting .375 with a double and a home run. 3 runs driven in already. So his 69 season is off to a nice start. Versus right-handers, he's a 0, so that'll keep Niekro at a 6 C as in cat. And here's the pitch. 32-26. That's a grounder to Beckert at second. He will field that with no difficulty for the first out of the inning. Bob Bailey, first baseman extraordinaire, right-handed hitter, will take his crack at Niekro. He too is a 0 versus righty, so that will keep Niekro at a C as in cat. 61-24, and that's a hard grounder to short. Kessinger will play it up the middle. From behind second base, he makes a nice strong throw to first. Retire Bailey by a step and a half. 2-way. John Bateman, he's -3, so that'll be a 9. Still a C for Niekro. He's hitting .250, 3 runs driven in already here in 1969. 41, and that's a 24. Another grounder to Kessinger, this time a little bit to his right. He gets in front of it, plants and throws, and that'll do it for the Expos in the second. So Niekro has retired the first 6 in a row that he's faced. Go to the home half of the second, still a 2-run lead by the Chicago Cubs. So Niekro is the only Chicago Cub not to bat last inning, and he'll lead off the second. As you can see, he's a 125 hitter in real life. Versus righties, he loses 2, which makes a 7C out of Morton. 46-24, and that's a ground ball, slow grounder to Wills, and he will charge, and with the pitcher, will have plenty of time to set and throw for out number 1. Don Kessinger, he walked and scored back in the first, will take his second crack at Morton today. Again, we have a day game here in Chicago, as they had only day games till I think it was 88, maybe 98, I can't remember, but a long time from now before they got lights. Versus a righty, he's a 0, so that'll make a D5, D as in dog out of Morton. And here's the pitch. 43-29, that's hit back to the box. Not hit too hard, so Morton with time to field it and time to throw. Will do just that for out number 2. 2 away. Nobody on for Glenn Beckert. He singled and was erased on a fielder's choice back in the first. He's -2. That's a 7 C as in cat for Morton. 2 away. Nobody on. Righty versus righty. 63, and that's lofted out to Moda, can of corn. And he will put it away to retire the Cubs as they go in order. So nice job by Morton to kind of right the ship a little bit. Gets the Cubs in order here in the second. We go to the third, still 2-0 Chicago. Coco LeBoy, another fan favorite for the Montreal Expos. He, as I understand it, labored in the minor leagues for quite a while and got his chance when the expansion happened in '69. So he was kind of a fun story. So far he's hitting .091, however, does have a home run. He's -2, so that's an 8 C as in cat for Necro. 16-28, and that's hit down to the shortstop Kessinger, who's getting his work in today. He will field this one successfully and throw on to get LeBoy for out number 1. LeBoy, not very fast on the base paths, is retired for the first out here in the third. Sutherland, who's hitting .192, he's -5 versus right-handed pitching, so he much prefers lefties. Of course, Necro is not a lefty, so that will move Necro all the way up to an 11 B as in boy. 1 out, nobody on. And that's going to be another grounder to second baseman Beckert this time. Hitting the hole. He ranges over and is able to get in front of it and then flip on to Banks for out number 2. Of course, Banks started as a shortstop, but at this point in his career had moved to first. I don't think he ever was that great of a fielding shortstop. Of course, he could definitely hit the ball, so I think they moved him over to first relatively, not, kind of late, but not real late in his career. All right, due up next here is Carl Morton, the pitcher. 2 out, nobody on. Morton is a -2 on righty, so that's still an 8 C for Necro. Here we go. 34, and that's a fly ball out to left center field. Morton got pretty good wood on it, but Young will chase it down in the left center field gap, and that'll do it for the Expos in the third. So for the third time in a row, they go in order. 9 in a row retired by Necro. We go to the bottom of the third, still 2-0 Chicago Cubs. Billy Williams, we got 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Cubs this inning. He hit into fielder's choice and then was promptly thrown out trying to steal by Bateman. Versus right-handed pitching, he's a -1, so that'll make a C as in cat for Morton. 63-32, hard line drive, but right at Rusty Staub, who doesn't have to move much to retire that one for out number 1. Ron Santo is singled and scored. He's a -2, so that'll keep a C for Morton. 46, and he whiffs. Nice fastball on the outside corner. Santo thought that might have been perhaps out of the zone, but his opinion does not count. And he is the first strikeout victim today for Morton. You know what? I think I forgot that Necro was an R, because we do have those 2 strikeouts to lead off the game. See, the base is empty, however. It looks like you have to have 2 outs for that R to come into play, and Wills had no outs and Moda had 1, so I think I was good. I forgot about it, but I didn't miss anything, so that's good. All right, 2 out, nobody on for Ernie Banks. He walked and got as far as third base in the first inning, but was left stranded there when Don Young flew out to right field. Versus righty, he's a -3, so that's an 8. C as in cat for Morton. 34, and that's another fly ball out to center field. Moda will take a few steps in toward the infield and will retire that again with no difficulty. So both pitchers kind of settling into a groove here after the first. And the Cubs are retired in order for the second inning in a row. We're a third of the way home, 2-0 Chicago. Maury Wills will lead off, top of the order here for the Expos, and they're half of the fourth. He struck out, as we have just alluded to. Drop the dice in the floor. Always keep a spare handy. And here's the pitch. He's a -3, so that's a 9 C for Necro. 45, and that's going to be a walk. So there goes the perfect game. That's the second walk of the year for Wills. First base runner for the Expos this afternoon. He is fast, of course. Everybody knows that about Maury Wills. Even this time in his career, that brings up Manny Mota. So the Expos are down by 2, so I don't think they're going to try to bunt here. I think they're going to go ahead and let Mota hit away. He does not have that extra 31. However, still might be a good chance to hit and run because Will's got pretty good speed, so I think that's what we're going to try to do. Again, I keep every team down to no more than 3 hit and runs per game. As I understand it, it can skew the stats a little. Usually I'll only do 1 or 2, but Mota's going to try it here. So here's the hit and run. 55 is a 7. That's a single to right. However, against an A and C, A and B, that changes the result. But Necro is neither of those, so that's going to be a single to right, runner to third. So the hit and run pays off as Manny Mota collects his first base hit of the season. Wills will make it easily to third, and the Expos have him on the corners with no out. All right. So the Cubs are going to play the infield back. They got 3, 4, and 5 due up now, so they got their heavy hitters. So Mota is on first. He's fast. Wills on third is fast. Good speed on the base paths. Versus a righty, stops at +2, so that'll make Necro a D. So again, Necro's got his work cut out here. Rusty Staub flew out to right field to end the first. 46 is a 29. The Cubs are a 1 fielding team. So with runner on first, so out at first, runner to second, the other holds. So one hopper back to Necro. He looks Wills back to second, or back to third. Mota with good speed is going to make it to second, and Necro's not going to chance it, so he'll go to first to get the shore out of Staub. So that's a fielder's choice. Wills will stay at third, 1 to 3. Oop. Didn't do it right. Let's try that again. All right, fielder's choice. Actually, that's not a fielder's choice. That's going to be a ground out. That was what was throwing it. He's out at first. Mota goes to second. Will stays at third. 1 to 3 on the putout. Oh, dang it. Don't know why that was so hard to enter into the system, but anyway, 1 out. Runners on second and third. Both speedy runners, and again, I think the Cubs are going to play back here, trying to avoid the big inning. Mac Jones is due up next. Could arguably go ahead and walk him, because Mac Jones is one of the best hitters in the lineup. Not as good as Staub, but he's probably the second best hitter. think that's what they're going to do. That way they'll set up the double play everywhere. And another rule I do is that each team can only do one intentional walk a game. So again, just I have the advantage of hindsight. I know what they did through the year, and of course, they didn't know that back then. So there's something I hold to myself. Not to say that I wouldn't if it just made absolute 100% sense, but generally speaking, I keep each team to one intentional walk. So bases loaded. Bob Bailey, first baseman extraordinaire, is due up versus righties. He's a 0. That'll keep Nico at a 6. C as in cat. Jones is of mediocre speed. So bases jammed. Cubs back looking for a double play. Big at bat here in the 4th. Oh, no. And that is hit high, and that is hit deep, and it is out of here to deep center field. So he got all of that one. Nico doesn't have any adjustments on his home run. So first home run of the year for Bob Bailey. And that's going to get the ire of the Chicago fans. So Niekro was cruising along, but he hit a major speed bump here in the 4th. Grand slam home run, Bob Bailey. All right, base is empty. They're going to hang with Niekro here, see if he can right the ship, so to speak. We'll start with Bateman. Bateman and grounded out to short to end the 2nd. Again, Niekro had retired the first 9 he faced, but the wheels fell off after that. So he would be a 9C for this at bat. Here's the pitch. 36, 33, there a 1. He is not a Y. Again, he's an R. So that's popped up on the infield. Beckert will call that one for out number 2. Coco LeBoy will make a C out of Niekro. 2 out, nobody on, 62, and he strikes out. So nice knuckleball there, but that knuckleball he threw to Bailey did not knuckle. It's the 3rd strikeout for Niekro. Big inning for the Expos. 4 runs on just 2 base hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Chicago finds themselves down by 2. All right, Morton given a 2-run lead. See if he can hang on to it here. He singled and RBI single back in the 1st versus a righty. He's a -3. That's an 8. C is in cat for Morton. 25 is an 8, and that's going to be a single to left center field. Hit on a rope. Hit toward Jones in left field, and he will get to it to cut it off. Hundley, who's not terribly quick, will stop at first. His 2nd base hit of the day. That brings the tying run to the plate. Now Spangler. So Hundley is of average speed for a catcher. Spangler walked in his first at bat versus a righty. He's a -1. That'll make a C6 out of Morton. Here's the pitch. 65, 35. They are a 3, and he is a W. Got him again. So Morton wild today. Walks his 4th. So the Expos rather, they're up in the bullpen. And so it looks like that Morton does not have the control he needs to compete in a major league game today. So both runners are average. Young is a 0, so that'll make a D5 out of Morton. So we'll see what he can do here at the bottom of the lineup. See if he can get himself out of this pickle. 24, and he strikes him out. So nice change up there. Young's fooled badly. Swings over the top of it, and a big first out here in the 4th. That's the second strikeout by Morton today. Brings Joe Niekro to the plate. He got the corners in. Not sure if he's going to bunt or not. Tell you what I'm going to do. This was kind of a 50-50. So should he bunt? Yep. So they're going to lay down the bunt. I go with the decide or die sometimes. Consult the bones. All right, Niekro's going to try to lay one down. 16's a 28. Runners on first and second. Out at first, runners advance. So he nice bunt down to LeBoy at third. And his only play will be to Bailey at first. So Niekro gets it down 5-3. 5-3. 16, 28. Yep, 5-3. All right, puts him at second and third and 2 out for Don Kessinger. Kessinger has walked and bounced back to the pitcher. All right. Versus righties, he's a 0. That'll make a 5. D as in dog. Here we go. 64-12. Again, they are a 3, and that's a strikeout. So nice job by Morton. Got himself into a pickle, but was able to work his way out of it. So the Cubs end up with no runs on a hit, no errors. They leave 2 on. We go to the 5th, 4-2 Montreal. So again, Montreal playing some good baseball here early on. Again, they took 2 out of 3 from the Mets, who we all know will end up being the world champions this year in real life. All right, so Niekro got a short leash on him. He's only given up 2 hits, but 4 runs. He'll lead off with a 8, 9, and 1 in the Montreal lineup. Sutherland is a -5, so that'll make an 11B as in boy for Niekro. 46-29. That's hit back to the box. Niekro with good reflexes stabs it more out of self-defense than anything, and calmly throws to first for out number 1. Right-handed pitching Carl Morton will step up. He flew out to Young in his first effort of the game, and he's going to strike out. So nice. Niekro got a fastball by. Morton probably expecting the knuckleball. He's retired on strikes. Strikeout number 4 today for Joe. So quickly 2 away, nobody out for Maury Wills. He's walked and scored today. -3 makes a 9C as in cat for Niekro. 55 is an 8 and a C, and that's a single to left center. So Maury Wills takes that one the other way and is rewarded with a base hit. 2 out, nobody on, or Wills on first rather. Wills, as we have already established, is fast. Mini Moda is 1 for 2. Runs scored. He's -4 versus right-handed pitching, so that's a 10C as in cat for Niekro. Again, the Leo DeRocha here has short leash on Niekro. 62, and he strikes him out. Nice knuckleball there, and Moda is overmatched, and he whiffs to end the inning. 5th strikeout for Joe. The Expos get a hit, and they leave him right where he started. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Montreal Expos 4, Chicago Cubs 2. 2, 3, and 5 due up for the Cubs. And Beckert is 1 for 2 today. And that's a strikeout. Morton, yeah. Oh, I forgot. Niekro is the R. And I may have missed. Oh, well. Those R's throw you. So, again, the out's the same. You may get a little extra strikeout there. The R's, the double Z's. Again, I haven't been playing APBA terrible a long time, so there's a couple things like that that I need to remember. So, anyway, we'll say it was good. All right, so Beckert versus right-handed pitching is a -2. That's a 7C. And we already rolled that, didn't we? 62 was a strikeout. Yep. Morton does not have an R, so that strikeout will count. One away. Billy Williams, he's fielder's choice, flew out, caught stealing. -1, that's a 6C for Morton. 42, and that's going to be a walk. So again, Morton with walk number 5 today. He's held the Cubs to 4 hits, which is not great in 5 innings, but all right, Williams is fast, according to the APBA gurus. Santos a -2 versus righties. That's a 7C. 1 out. Williams on first. 41-24, and that's trouble. That's a tailor-made ground ball to Wills, and he will execute accordingly. Throw on to second, on to first. Again, tailor-made, 6-4-3. Double play. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. We go to the 6-4-2 Montreal Expos. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Montreal. Staub versus righties +2, so that'll make a D as in dog out of Necro. Staub's 0 for 2 today. 12's a 25. Ground ball to second baseman Beckert. Takes it on 2 hops. It's time to get Staub for out number 1. Mac Jones, he was intentionally walked, scored on the grand salami by Bailey, and grounded out to second. He's a 0, so that'll make a 6C for Necro. 42, and that's going to be a walk. Third walk of the day by Joe Necro. Second walk by Jones. That's the first unintentional one, however. Jones is of average speed. Bob Bailey, the hero of the game so far, will step up next. He had that grand slam back in the 4th, which counts for all 4 of the Montreal runs today. He will make a 6C out of Necro. Here is the pitch as Necro looks into the sign from Hundley. 32-26, that's the second baseman. Beckert is a 9, which is very good. 32-26, and that's going to be a ground ball to Beckert. He is going to get it to Kissinger, and nice slide by Jones as he disrupts Kissinger enough just to let Bailey make it to first. So good hustle there. 4-6. Nice hustle by Jones, avoids the double play. Bailey is of average speed at first base, so we got 2 out, runner on first for the catcher John Bateman. He's -3, so that's a C9 for Necro. Here is the pitch. 46-27. 27 is the third baseman. That's Santo, who is an excellent no X, so that's going to be a nice play by Santo. He'll fire across the infield to get Bateman to retire the side. All right, no runs, no hits, no errors. They do leave 1 runner on. We go to the home half of the 6th. Montreal enjoying a 2-run lead. All right, we got 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Cubs. Trying to see if they can get to Morton here. So the Expos have somebody up in the bullpen. Again, as Morton is not the greatest pitcher ever, but pitching a good game today. He'll start with Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks is a -3. That'll make an 8C out of Morton. Banks is walked and flied out today. 44 is an 8 on a C, and that's a single just out of the outstretched arm of Wills. Ernie Banks will start the inning off with a single. Brings Rick Hundley up. He's 2 for 2, a couple singles today. Ernie Banks is of average speed as he is later in his career. Never was a speed demon, but probably quicker when he was younger. Hundley's again got a couple of hits today. He's -3. That's an 8C. Here is the pitch to Morton, or from Morton rather. 45, and he walks him. So that's walk number 6 for Morton, and that's probably going to do it for Morton. What's he due up? He's actually due up 3rd. I don't think he's going to get that far. So we've got runners on 1st and 2nd. Both of them are of average speed. We got Spangler at the plate versus righty. He's a -1, which will make Morton a 6. I think they're going to give him one shot here. This may be risky. It's lower in the lineup. Spangler's walked twice today. Runners on 1st and 2nd. Make sure we got the right chart. So, Gene Mock's going to go with Morton and see what happens. Here we go. You know what? He could. Nah, he's not going to bunt. This low in the lineup. 36, 33. They are 2 on the infield. So that's popped up on the infield. I believe this would qualify as an infield fly rule. Wills will take it for out number 1. So nice rising fastball. Spangler not able to get on top of it. Pops it up on the infield for out number 1. That brings up Young, who's a 0, so that'll keep him at a D. Now that's a little bit alarming here. Again, I think Gene Mock's going to see what he can do here. Still in the 6th inning, so kind of early in the game. 1969, they give people a chance to work out of it, so here we go. 16's a 28. 28 is the shortstop. Wills is a 9. So 28, and that's a ground ball to Wills. He makes a fine play, gets it quickly to Sutherland, on to Bailey, and a big 6-4-3 double play. Let's see. Banks stays 6-4-3. So Mock's trust in Morton paid off. Double play. Leave a runner on. All right, Coco LeBoy will lead off the top of the 7th. 7, 8, and 9. I believe we're probably going to pinch hit for Morton, though. He's due up 3rd. LeBoy is 0 for 2 versus a righty. He makes an 8C as in cat for Necro. 55 is an 8, and that's a single to left. 2 hops Williams, and he throws it back in. LeBoy makes a turn at first. That doesn't go anywhere as he is on board with a leadoff single. Just the 4th hit today for the Expos. He is slow at first. That brings up Sutherland. That'll get the Chicago bullpen up and going. Sutherland is 0 for 2, grounded out twice. He's a -5, so that'll make an 11 for Necro. Here is the delivery from Necro. 36, 33, there are 1. And that's popped up on the infield. Santo will wave everyone off and they will agree to his wishes. Out number 1. All right, that brings up the pitcher spot. I'm going to pause it here while we find us a pinch hitter. Gene Mock has went with Ty Klein, left-handed hitter hitting outfielder / first baseman. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far this year versus right-handed pitching. He's a -1, so that'll make a 7C for Necro. Again, we got LeBoy at first, slow runner. There's 1 out. Again, that'll be it for Morton today. He did a fine job, and he is set up to get the win if things stay the way they are. 42-14 is he is a Z, so that's going to be 2 balls on Klein. 42, he rolls it again, so that will be a walk. Walk number 4 by Necro. Okay. So again, let's see. I think Leo DeRocher might decide it's time for a relief pitcher. Necro is due up next inning. So Klein is fast. With him due up next inning, they'd like to get him through this inning. Runners on first and second. There's 2 out or 1 out. Maury Wills has singled and walked and struck out. So I think LaRocher's going to give Necro 1 more bat here and see what he can do. Wills is -3. Again, he's a switch hitter. Prefers the lefties, so that will make a 9C for Necro. Fans holding their breath here. Top of the 7th. 35-14. That's 2 balls. Shake it up a little here so we don't roll another 35. Oh, Necro hangs a knuckleball that didn't knuckle. 63. That's a 7, and 7 is always the D column on a second column. So that's a single to left. Montreal wasn't playing it safe. Again, they didn't have any slow runners, so 1 score. So LeBoy will score, and Klein, with good speed, will make it all the way to third. So, and again, Will slaps it the other way. Klein makes it to third, and LeBoy will score. And according to Stratomatic, Necro is tired. I believe he is. So we'll look into some relief help here. Bills with the RBI single. So both runners on are fast. Got Minnie Mo to do up. So after him, we got 2 lefties. So we'll see who Rocher goes with. So be right back. All right, Leo DeRocher went with Ted Abernathy, right-handed pitcher. Ted has pitched 3 innings with no ERA. He did pick up the win in that against Philadelphia. Did the double switch, so Jim Qualls went into center field. He is a 1, so that dropped him down by 1. However, that's still a 35 and a 42, so they will stay at 1 as a team. So we got, again, Klein at third, Wills at first. Minnie Mota, who is 1 for 3, struck out twice, will be up. Versus righties, he's a -4, so that'll make a 16A as an apple out of Abernathy. The Cubs are going to be in at the corners, looking for the double play up the middle. So here we're set up and ready to go. Again, Abernathy trying to keep Montreal from having a much bigger inning. 64, that's a 12, and again, they are a 1. He's not a W. And we're at runners in first and third, so let me get to the right thing here. Let's see. So that was hit to first base. So the first baseman was in. So safe at first, fielder's choice, runner out at home. 4-3. Okay, so this one's a little confusing. So they don't have a a corner's in per such in APBA. It's either in or back. So what I do is wherever it's hit, that's whether it's in or out. But if the infield's in, it's hit to the second baseman. If the infield's back, it's hit to the first baseman. So I'm going to do a decider die. So are they in? Is the infield in? No. So the infield's back. So we're going to do the D result. And so the D result is hit down to first. He fires to Kessinger at second base, who fires back to first. 3-6-3 double play. So good job by Banks as he fields that one. Banks has a 4 over there, which is pretty good for a first baseman. Yeah, that one was one of those where it's not hit. The options aren't hit to the same person, so that's kind of how I work it out. So out, stays 3-6-3. 7th inning stretch time here at Wrigley Field. Nice job by Abernathy to come on and get the inning-ending double play. Let's see. That's out number 2. Double play. They do get a run on a couple hits, no errors. They leave a runner on. 5-2 Montreal. Time for our trivia question. In 2001, who was the last National League player to drive in 150 or more runs? I'm thinking a Colorado Rocky. But it was Sammy Sosa, 160 for the Cubs. Okay. All right, so the Expos need a new pitcher. I'll stay online here. We can do that pretty quick, I think. So we've got, how about McGinn? Let's see, who's due up? So they got the new, okay, so they're pretty equal there. So they're going to go with McGinn here. Dan McGinn. Lefty. He has pitched 1 inning and had 1 strikeout so far. Get his card out of here. There's Dan McGinn from Omaha, Nebraska. I think Bob Gibson was from Nebraska, if I remember correctly. He is a CXW, so power pitcher with a bit of control trouble. He's an 8. And he has a G, so he doesn't give up. He gives up a little fewer home runs than your average duck. All right, so Qualls, who came in on the double switch, will lead off here in the bottom of the 7th. Cubs down by 3. Versus left-handed pitching, Qualls is a -1. That'll make a 9C out of McGinn. Here's the pitch. 34. That's a fly ball out to Moda in center field. He will track it down. Route number 1. Kessinger, he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Versus lefties, he's a -7. So Kessinger prefers the righty. Switch hitter. -7. That's a 15. So that's a very high B as in boy for McGinn. 23, 29. That's a little roller out in front of the mound. Again, will pounce on it and with lightning speed catch Kessinger by half a step. Two away for Beckert versus lefties. He's +1, so that'll make a 7C as in cat. 65, 35. And that's grounded down to Bailey as Beckert slaps an outside fastball the opposite direction. Bailey will not need any assistance from his pitcher, and that'll do it for the Cubs. So nice job by McGinn to retire the Cubs in order here in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Still 5-2 Expos. All right. We got the top of the 8th, 3, 4, and 5 due up for Montreal. Rusty Staub, their right fielder, will lead things off. He is 0 for 3 today. Again, Abernathy faced one batter back in the 7th and got Mo to retire on a 3-6-3 double play, inning-ending variety. Let me get back to my screen so I can make sure everything's looking good. Okay. Staub versus right-handers, +2. That'll make a 10C out of Abernathy. So Staub prefers the lefties. 46-29. That's a line drive screamer back to Abernathy on one hop. And he will field it and get Staub by plenty of steps. Staub never even dropped the bat on that one. One away. Mac Jones, he's walked twice this afternoon versus righties. He's a 0. That'll be a 12B as in boy for Abernathy. 62, and he whiffs. Nice curveball, breaks over the inside corner. Mac Jones froze on that one. First strikeout of the day, 5th of the year for Abernathy. 2 away. Bob Bailey, again, he had that grand slam home run back in the 4th. He will keep Abernathy at a B as in boy. My tower fell down. That always stinks. All right, so what do we do here? 53. Actually, I don't know if I rolled that or not. I can't remember, so I'm going to roll that again. So anyway, I don't remember what happened there after all that chaos. So again, he's a B. Let's try this again. 45-14 is going to be a walk. So Bailey with his first walk of the year. 2-out variety. Bailey is average speed, so 2 out. Runner on first. Bateman will step into the right-handed batter's box. Versus righties, he's -3. That's a 15B as in boy for Abernathy. And here's the pitch. 46-27. That's the third baseman. Santo is a fine 5, so 27. He's not an X. So that is hit down to Santo. And he will fire across the infield to Banks to retire Bateman to end the inning. No runs, no errors, no hits. They did lead that Bailey's walk on first. We go to the 8th. 5-3 Montreal. All right, hometown fans looking for a rally here. Cubs down by 3. Gene Mock's going to keep McGinn on the mound here. He did a good job back in the 7th. He'll start off with Billy Williams versus lefties. That's a -3, 11. That'll make a B as in boy out of McGinn. 41-24, and that's slapped the other way to Wills. Wills backhands it in the hole, fires across the infield, and gets Williams by a step. Maybe a step and a quarter. 1 away. Ron Santos. Got 3 righties up here. We'll see what McGinn can do with them. Versus lefties. That's a +1. That's a 7C for McGinn on this one, as in Cat. Santo is 1 for 3. He has an RBI. He hit into an inning double play back in the 5th. 55 is an 8, and that's a single to left center. So Santo gets a fastball up, and he lines a 1-hopper to Jones and left. 1-out single for the Cubs. That brings the tying run to the on-deck circle. Santo is slow, so they will play it safe with him. Ernie Banks, runner on first, versus left-handed pitching is a +4. That makes a D as in dog out of him again. Might call for some relief here. Let's see. got Simbera. I think that's what they're going to do. Cubs are going to go with. They're going to go with, or the Expos rather, are going to go with Carol Simbera. He's a right-handed pitcher. Simbera. He has pitched an inning. Did not do very well in that one inning he pitched against Philadelphia. From Shiner, Texas. He is a CW. A 9, which is a pretty high C. He has the H, so he doesn't give up many home runs. All right, Simbera seeing if he can keep the Cubs at bay. Ernie Banks, Santo at first versus righties. He's a -3. That'll be a 12B as in boy for Simbera. 32-26. That's the second baseman. Sutherland is not a great one. So that's a ground ball. He will get Santo chugging into second, but Wills will put it in his pocket. As Banks was motoring down the line. For 6 on the fielder's choice. 2 away. Banks is of average speed. And that brings Hundley to the plate. Runner on first. Hundley is 2 for 2 with a walk today. -3. That's a 12, so that'll make a B as in boy out of Simbera. 52-27. That's hit down to LeBoy, who is a 4, which would be in the second column. He's not an X, and so that's he'll go the short way to second. So LeBoy to Sutherland on the fielder's choice, and that'll do it for the Cubs here in the 8th. 5-4. The fielder's choice. No runs they hit, no errors. They did leave one runner on. Go to the top of the 9th. 5-2 Expos. All right. Coco LeBoy. We got 7, 8, and 9. Let's see. Did the Expos have a closer as such? Looks like not really. Again, had 5, so they're pretty much bullpen by committee, looks like. All right, so Coco LeBoy. You have Abernathy here. Abernathy's pitched an inning and a third. Done a fine job so far. LeBoy versus right-handers is -2. That'll make a 14B as in boy out of Abernathy. Here is the pitch. 16-28. Hit down to Kessinger. He will charge it to avoid the in-between hop. Does a fine job. And throws him out for the first out of the inning. Gary Sutherland steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3. Versus righties, he's -5, so that's a 17A as an apple. 31 is a 14, and that's going to be a walk. The only way you avoid a walk with the bases empty if you are a Z. Second walk of the day. That brings the pitcher up. So again, the Expos don't have a bullpen or a closer as such. So I think they're going to go ahead and let Simbera hit, as he is a pretty good pitcher. Gene Mock has declared. So Carol Simbera, the pitcher, will hit next. Cecil Klein, he was taken out in that double switch. Simbera, 1 out. He was 1 for 4, but I think he's going to try to lay down a bunt. So Sutherland at first is of average speed. The Cubs are playing the corners in. 25 is a 9, and that's hit down the third baseline. Nice bunt by Simbera. Santo will fire on to Beckert, who's covering first. To the second out of the inning. So out number 2. Oop. A second here. All right, so Sutherland will make it to second. Sack bunt by Simbera. 5-4 for out number 2, and that brings us to Maury Wills. Sutherland at second, 2 away. Abernathy will get the sign from Hunley. Wills is a -3 versus right-handers. That's a 15B as in boy. 2 out. Here is the pitch. Get back to my monitor so I can make sure that everything is looking correctly. 41-28, and that's the shortstop. Again, Kessinger is a 9, and that's going to be a ground ball to Kessinger, as we have stated, and he will make this without any difficulties to retire the Expos. All right, bottom of the 9th. Gene Mock's going to see if Carol Simbera can close this one out. The Cubs are 3 down. Al Spangler, the right fielder, will start off. He is 0 for 1 with a couple walks. Again, Simbera is a CW, so he is wild. Versus righties, he's a -1, so that'll make a C10 out of Simbera. Here we go. 52-27, and that's hit the other way. The boy fields it in the hole, twists and turns, and gets him by a hair. So Spangler was motoring down the line. That one wasn't hit terribly hard, but LeBoy, who's generally not is an average third baseman, makes a fine play there for the first out of the inning. All right, so we got the pitcher spot here, because again we had did the double switch. So pause it here as we get us a pinch hitter. Leo DeRocher has decided to go with Willie Smith, left-handed hitting outfielder / first baseman. Versus right-handed pitching, he's a +1, so that will make an 8C out of Simbera. 1 away, nobody on. 55 is an 8, and that's going to be a single to left center. So Smith is slow, so they will play it safe with him. Brings in Qualls, who again was brought in for that double switch. He flew out to center field in his first effort. Jim Qualls, center fielder extraordinaire. He is fast. Switch hitter. All right, versus right-handers, he's a -1, so that will make a 10C out of Simbera. We got a runner on first. Again, Smith is slow, so they're going to play it safe. Here's the pitch. 61's a 32. Staub is not a great fielder out there, according to APBA. However, that will be caught by Staub, and he will throw it back to the infield. Smith retreats to first, and there's 2 out. It's up to Don Kessinger. Versus righties, he's a 0. That'll keep a 9C for Simbera. Kessinger's 0 for 3 with a walk. He has scored a run. Here is the pitch. 25 and 8C. And that's a single to center. Smith, who took off on contact, will make it to third. Moto will throw it back into second. And and the Cubs aren't going quietly. Gene Mock's going to hang with Simbera here. Again, I don't think he's got a lot of better options. Just let me double check this. So there, bullpen. Got Wasilewski. Not a lot better. See what Simbera can do here. If he doesn't get backward, I think he may go to his bullpen. So versus righties, he's a -2. That makes an 11. B as in boy out of Simbera. First and third. See our runners there. And here we go. Here's the pitch. 25 is an 8. He is a B. Oh, single to right. One scores, the other to third. A slow is out at third, and Kessinger is fast. So the Cubs are continuing on. I thought that B would be an out, but with the runners on first and third, 25, 8, and 8 for a B is a single to right. So he goes the other way. Smith scores easily. Kessinger will chug around to third, and the lead has been cut to 2. All right, so Kessinger is fast. Beckert is of average speed. Billy Williams will step up to the plate. He represents the winning run. So we're going to have to see what Gene Mock might do here. So let me pause it and figure things out. All right, after thinking about it real hard, and looking at all the options, they're going to go with the Simbera, see if he can finish the deal here. So Williams is a -1 versus righties. That'll make him a C10. C is in cat. Williams is 0 for 3 today. He does have an RBI on the fielder's choice. Forgot to give him his RBI. All right, here we go. .63, 32, gets good wood on it, but hits it right to Rusty Staub, and that will do it. So Gene Mock's faith in Simbera pays off. So the Cubs manage 1 run on 3 base hits, no errors, they leave 2. And final score, Montreal 5, Chicago 3. So hopefully I didn't mess anything up. That one got a little confusing. So let me see if somebody had mentioned trying to see the box score. So let me see if I'm able to bring that up. And I think you're able to see that there. So the Expos get 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors. The Cubs 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Expos left 5, and the Cubs left 9 on base. The win goes to Carl Morton. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. 6 walks, 4 strikeouts, so he persevered to have a good day. McGinn gets the hold, and Simbera does a fine job and picks up the save. Joe Niekro takes his first loss of the year. I'd say that I'm going to give the star of the game, even though Simbera probably deserves it. He did give up that 1 run, but was able to preserve the save. But I'm going to give it to Bailey, who hit that grand slam back in the 4th. So I will say that he will get the star of the game. So there you have it from Chicago, Wrigley Field. The Expos improved to 3-1. The Cubs fall to 1-3. So again, they were 4-0 in real life. So if they're going to catch the Mets in my replay, they are already 3 games off the pace. So that was a barn burner there. So anyway, I appreciate it very much, and I will see you next time.